Hey everybody, my name is Ashley Rush and I'm an independent creative memories advisor located in North Carolina. Today I am here, not in my normal space. I'm actually in my living room, so I really apologize if the lighting or the sound's a little messed up. We're trying something new. I needed a bigger space to demonstrate this week's video, which brings me to this week's video. I know you guys have been waiting for it for a long time, but today I am coming with our power layout kits. I want to explain to you guys how amazing this kit is, why I love it, why you love it, and how it's going to make scrapbooking easy and speedy. All right, so let's just get started with a quick overview of the product. All right, so when you order the power layout kit, you're gonna get this box. It's just a black box. It's slightly bigger than 12 by 12. It's got a bungee cord closure. And inside of this box, you will find several white power layout kit dividers. Now, what do you do with these dividers? That's a great question. I am going to get into that right now. Whoa, back up there. I feel like this is the opposite of that TikTok trend where they're like, come closer, no closer, now closer. Anyways, I have backed you guys up so that you can see my big table space here. I am using a 6-foot table. You can, of course, make this work in whatever space you want. You can use your kitchen table. You can use your kitchen countertop. I've seen people do this on the floor. I've also seen people take multiple 6-foot tables, line them up end to end or in a U shape, and go to town. All right, so let me explain how this system works. It's all about pre-planning your album, so that when you have got time and space at home, you can sort through things, figure out what you need, where you want things to go, so that when you go to a crop or when you have time to actually crop at home, because you can do this at home too, you'll be able to just pick up and get going. You don't have to spend all the time at the beginning organizing, because let's be honest, that's the worst part. All right, so this is how this is going to work. Once you open your box and take your guides out, you don't need the box again until the end. So I'm just gonna set that behind me, not beside me, behind me. All right, so let's talk about these guides. They are about 12 by 12, a little bit bigger, and they have these little tabs on them. The tabs make it easy to flip from page to page. All right, so what you're going to do is you're gonna lay these suckers out. And you're gonna lay them out just one by one in whichever way makes sense and as much room as you have. So here on a 6-foot table, I have room for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could maybe make room for a 6th one if I really wanted to, but I don't. I need a little space. All right, so I've got room for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna start a second row of 7 and 8. These are basically representing a 2-page spread or a single-page layout in your album. So for each one of these tabs, I do 2-page spreads, girls. So for each one of these tabs, my words today are so hard. Each one of these represents a 2-page spread in my album because I know that I'm a 2-page spread girl. All of the things in my albums are going to come across on 2 pages. Maybe you only work on 1-page layouts at a time, or you do a mix of 1 pages and 2 pages. It's okay. Either way, it'll work for you. So I've laid these out. Right now, I've laid out 8. I might end up needing more, but I'm gonna work with this for now because small space and I'm filming, okay? So once you've laid out your guides, then you are going to collect all of the things that you're going to need for your album. I'm talking pictures, I'm talking papers, I'm talking embellishments, I'm talking memorabilia, all of that stuff. So if you guys give me just 1 second to gather it all up here, and done. I told you I'd be quick. All right, so I have gathered my photos. This particular album I'm working with does not have memorabilia, but if you do have memorabilia, now would be a great time to grab that power sort or that power folder that we talked about in a previous video, how we organize our memorabilia and photos and things like that for an album. That's going to be invaluable. Right now I just have my collections in these because I don't have memorabilia. All right, so I've got my photos, as I said. I've got different collections I want to use. I think for this album, I'm gonna stick to Staycation and You Got This and the tie-dye pack. It's gonna work for my pictures, and this is a trip I took with my preteen daughter, so the colors are really gonna work for us as well. I also have a pin as well as these fake note cards. So these aren't really note cards. I took our lined paper and I cut them into 4x6s. You could cut them into whatever size you want, but this is a new step I'm adding this year to help with my organization and my faulty brain. So again, if you don't have our lined paper, which I have here, it comes in white, it comes in natural. Pick yourself up a pack. You won't regret it. You can use it for lots of stuff, not just journaling in your books. Okay, moving on. We've got our pictures. The first thing you need to do is get those pictures in order. Now, my pictures are all in order because I order them from the Creative Memories website. I upload them. They come up in order because that's how they're sorted on my computer. And when I add them to the website and add them to my cart, they come in order already, and I love, love, love that. So now that you have your photos, you're going to start grouping them by event or time. So this is a single trip, so I'm going to be breaking my photos up into parts of the trip. So like travel day, what we did on day 1, or what we did in the morning of day 1 and the afternoon of day 1 and the morning of day 2. If you're doing a yearly album, this might be, this is what happened on April 7th, and this is what happened on April 12th, and here we have Easter. All right, so I have them in order. I'm gonna start breaking them up. So I have my travel day picture. I'm putting that right in the front. This is going to be one of the first pages in my book. And then we went on a pizza tour, guys. Highly recommend it. So this is going to be pictures from the first stop on our pizza tour. So apparently I said S-T-O-P, and my very smart camera decided that I actually wanted to S-T-O-P recording and stopped recording. So I hope you guys didn't miss too much here. I was just laying out the photos from the first stop in our pizza tour. And now I'm going on to the second stop in our pizza tour, adding all of those photos. And you can see I'm not looking too terribly much at them. And I'm moving to the third. Now, I'm not editing right now. I'm putting everything from that grouping of photos onto... Holy crow, guys, this camera really doesn't like the terminology I'm using. It keeps turning off and turning on and all of those things. So I was saying that I'm not editing so much. I'm not trying to break down my photos and be like, oh, do I want to use this one, that one, or this one? I'm just putting everything from a single event onto the page. And I will let myself do the editing later. So we're on to our fourth and final stop on our pizza tour, putting all of those things down. And then I'm moving on to, oh, look, I found one photo that it looks like it's out of order, but I cheated and took the first photo towards the end of the tour because there was a loop. So I'm going to circle back and put that one where it belongs. All right, then I've got a fun visit to the Blue Man Group. And then I'm moving on to our donut tour. Guys, this trip was so much fun and very full of calories. So I'm just gonna start adding those to my page. Again, I'm not trying to limit all of my my photos quite yet. I can do that later on in the process or when I'm actually scrapbooking. So now that I have my photos laid out, I've run out of space on my table, so I'm just gonna put the leftover photos away. If this were you and you were really doing it, you would just keep on adding until you were done with your stack. Okay. The next step here would be to add your memorabilia. I'm talking ticket stubs, boarding passes, pamphlets, brochures, certificates, any and all things in the memorabilia category. You would do the same thing, take your memorabilia pile and start matching it up with the layout guide that go with that have the matching photos on board. Now, if you don't have memorabilia, you're gonna go ahead and skip to this next step. I am going to take my note cards, and this is where I might, I'm gonna leave future me notes, because current me doesn't always remember things anymore. I'm getting old and I'm losing my memory. So maybe I wanna write down where I was, what kind of pizza we ate on our tour, the name of the pizza shop, or in this case, I might say, oh, there was a blog post that I really love and I think I want to try and recreate that. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to write down the name of the blog post and the date that it was made, so that when I get to these pictures, I'll be like, oh yeah, there was that really cool pizza post and I want to make sure I include that. So I'm going to have a note card for each of my layouts. Again, I'm putting just important journaling information or any sort of tips or things I want to try on that page. I've run out of cards, pretend like I have enough for everything. But yeah, future you is going to love current you when you leave them little love notes like this. Next, I'm going to come through with my collections, and I'm going to add any sort of stickers or embellishments that I think really match. So this is a silly thing, but I have this picture of my daughter at the airport, and she is holding her foot up by her face, which is like super weird and awkward. But the fun thing is she is wearing the tennis shoes that I bought and wore myself in high school. And I loved these shoes. They're called Roots. I had them in like a bazillion colors. I collected them with one of my best friends who ended up being my college roommate. So the fact that she now fits these shoes and she loves them as much as I do, it was a special story. So that's why I have this. And I happen to have a really cool shoe sticker border that I'm going to add into that page. So I'm gonna lay that right there. If I wanted to, I could just cut this border off and add it, but Homegirl doesn't have time for that. I'm gonna put the whole sheet in, and then I know that if I wanna reuse some of that stuff, it's already gonna be in the box for me. What else? I had previously made a really cool border about pizzas and takeout food. I did it on this channel. I wanna add that to one of my pizza tours, so I'm gonna lay that on to my next board. And then you can just sort of go through with your stickers, embellishments, things that you think might inspire your page. Once you do that, then maybe you come through and you find matching papers. So I've got that cool sneaker tennis shoe border. I think that'll go great with some of our tie-dye papers. We have a really pretty like light gray or pink because the shoes are pink and gray. I'm gonna add that to my pile. Then over here in my pizza one, I love this green. It's gonna play off of the red sauces in my pizza, so I wanna add that to my pile. And you're just gonna slowly go through and find bits and pieces that you want to include and build up your collection. Once you've done that with all of your templates, as many of the photos as you could fit, and remember, I'm working on a 6-foot table, but maybe you've got 24 feet of table that you are laid out and working through. You're just gonna go one by one like an assembly line. You're just gonna go do, 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 do. And bonus points if you make those sound effects while you're doing it. All right, so I've now put all of my notes in, I've put all of my paper is in, I've put all of my embellishments and my photos in. I've done all of the organizing that I can do. And I'm tired, and I've got no time to scrapbook now. That's okay, that's what this was meant for. Now we're gonna pack this up, store it away safely, so that when you actually have time to scrapbook, you will be able to whip through it like nobody's business. So this is how we're gonna store it. You're gonna take the last page you did, okay? So this was my donut tour. You're gonna take the last one, and that's gonna be the bottom of your pile. And you're gonna work your way from the back to the front. So the second to last page is going to go on top of the first, and the third to last page is gonna go on top of the second to last page, and so on and so forth until you get to the very front page. Now, I also sometimes like to take one more of the plastic guides and put it on top just to sort of serve as a protection. So I'm gonna pretend like maybe I didn't do that last page like I said I was. Shh. And I'm gonna add that to the top. This just gives that extra layer of protection, keeping everything organized, and nothing's gonna fly out when you open the box. Speaking of the box, now it's time to put our stack back into our power layout box. Got that right here. Gonna open it up, and I can take my pile and easy peasy fit it into my box, close the lid, and bungee it shut. Now this is safe and ready to travel. You can put it on a shelf while you wait. You can store it up and down inside of your rolling cart, or any which way. When you go to open it, everything is still going to be in order, waiting for you to work. All right, guys, what did you think of that video? Have you been power layouting before? For me, I think the biggest trick is to err on the side of overpacking, right? Add too many photos, because it's always going to be easier that once you scrapbook to take things away than it is to be like, oh man, I wish I had this, and then you're digging through your stash, or you're like having to write yourself a note to find something. So it's going to be easier to eliminate from this box than it is to add to this box after the fact. Another thing is, you don't have to be married to the choices you make. You know, as I was laying like scraps of paper in there, I'm like, you know what, maybe I don't want to use that border. That's okay, guys. You can still make choices and change your mind, because sometimes scrapbooking is about going with the flow, which is something I use a lot when I teach second grade. I'm talking about going with the flow, my friends. So I love that this helps you plan ahead, but it doesn't lock you into anything. You still have freedom of choice. You can still eliminate photos and things like that. So I just love this. It makes scrapbooking so much easier. And when you have pre-planned this way, it means you don't have to pack so much. You'll kind of have an idea of what kind of tools you want to use, because you know what pictures you're going to be working on. If you left yourself notes about different scrapbook blog posts you wanted to use, or maybe a project recipe you wanted to use, or maybe one of the my videos that you wanted to use, you'll know what tools that you need to have with you. So that's all gonna go so much easier. Guys, it's a lifesaver. And for people like me who are a little indecisive, or maybe I get bored with working on like one photo or another, I'm gonna tell you a little secret. I don't always work on these pages in order. I don't start with the top page. Sometimes I like to flip through and find them. Sometimes I like to, get 2 6-foot tables, because I'm spoiled like that, and I'll spread out all of my layout guides again, and then I'll turn over here and work on this table and just pick one layout guide at a time to work on, and then I'll put it back in its place so it stays in order for the book when it's time to put it together. I did a book to Alaska and Canada this way, and it made it so much more fun. Like it was like shopping. I like, what do I want to work on today? What am I feeling? I think it's you. And just pick it up, work on it to my heart's content, and put it away. Also, sometimes, I don't know if this happens to you, sometimes I just get a stack of photos and I just stare at them. And I have no inspiration. And I don't know what to do. So I can put them back in their place and move on to something that's a little more inspiring. Does that happen to anybody else? All right, just me. So if you guys are interested in getting your hands on one of these boxes, now this is obviously an older version. It has our old logo on it. If you want an updated version with our updated logo, please visit my Creative Memories website. You can find that at creativememories.com/cm/AshleyRush. And you can also get all of your other scrapbooking needs taken care of there as well. And you can check out our photo developing, because I love our photo prints. They're matte and they're beautiful and they're perfect. All right, if you are interested in keeping up with all things CM and a little bit about me as well, please find me on Facebook or Instagram. I post almost daily content there, and it is the best place to reach me one-on-one. And then I am working on adding new events to my calendar. You can find that over at my Scrap with Ash site. All of the links are in the description of this video, just in case I talk too fast for you. And then last but not least, if you are interested in joining my Creative Memories team, I would love to hear from you. I am working on growing this year, and I would love to have you grow alongside me. All right, guys, I think that's about it for me. I did my outro a little bit out of order, so I'm trying to did I say this? Yep, checking all my boxes, check, check, check. All right, guys, I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Bye.